Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's August 24th, 2023. Great to be with all of you today. My name is Bob Lang, and I run explosiveoptions.net and an amazing chat room and another amazing product called the Spread Trader, run by our resident expert on spread trading, Sam DeMarco. Great to be with all of you today. So let's talk about the markets here before we head on to a nice weekend. We have quite a bit of territory to cover this morning. Of course, last night we had earnings delivered from big chip name, semiconductor name, NVIDIA, and they really crushed it. And you can see this morning the stock is up about 6.5%, a little more than 6.5%. It was up a little bit higher earlier this morning, and yesterday actually people were buying it above 515. This 500 level is going to be pretty important. You can see the stock's up near that 500 level today. It had a really strong day earlier in the week, and it actually pushed out higher yesterday, about 13 bucks, about 2.5%, and it's moving, nicely higher this morning. So we added some calls yesterday, and actually some call spreads. And I did, mention on Twitter yesterday that I put an important video out yesterday talking about NVIDIA. And there's some people in the chat room who were interested in putting a position on, and I suggested maybe a spread would be a managed risk approach to having a position on and being able to participate in a gain in NVIDIA if the stock does indeed go up like it is doing this morning. And so that spread that I had suggested, especially two different spreads I had suggested from the chat room, was the 465 by 490 call spread expiring next week. That's a $25 spread. That could have been bought at the time for about 10 bucks. And I'd also suggested maybe a narrower spread, a 465 by 480 spread, $15 spread. And at the time, that could have been bought for about 6 bucks because, look, I mean, I don't have to tell you that, because NVIDIA is a high dollar stock and it tends to move a lot when news happens. The options were very expensive. I think I want to say that the market was looking for about a 17% move today, which would have been close to about $65 or $70. It's only moving about a little less than half that today. So option sellers are making out big time today, even if they played it both in both directions. But the thing about it is that if you wanted some exposure to a name like NVIDIA or even a big cap name, this is a good lesson for you to learn. Is you don't have to buy the expensive option. Now, the 465 call was trading at the time at about 26 bucks. $26. So one contract would have cost you $2,600. 5 contracts would have cost you about $13,000, right? To have that kind of risk on an earnings report just for one company, and it's do or die, it's black or white, whether you make money or lose money, is just too much risk to put on for one day. Because look, we're trying to live to fight another day, right? We don't want to deplete our capital, so we can't get in there and make trades into the future. But we do want to be able to take some risk, right? And being able to put that spread on, as I explained it yesterday, enabled you to put some risk on in a managed way. So what is the outcome of those spreads that I had suggested yesterday? Well, we don't know yet because the ones I suggested expire on September 1st. That's next week. And I explained very, very clearly in my video yesterday that if you want to participate and put this spread on, you have to be willing to hold it virtually to the end of the expiration, right? When you're a seller, and in this case, you're selling either the 490 call or the 480 call. When you're a seller, you have to be willing to hold it to the end if you want to get paid for the whole entire spread. Now, obviously, there's some risk involved there, right? And certainly the stock could fall back. It could fall back to 485 or 475 or something like that. But that's the risk that you take. And the short call actually acts as your hedge in case something like that should occur, right? And it allows you the ability to stay with that trade longer, right? So think of it this way: as a call seller or a put seller for that matter, time is your friend. As a buyer of calls or a buyer of puts, time is your enemy. So you have a combination here. You're long a call and you're short a call at the same time, but that short call is going to work much better to your advantage. And why is that? It's because first of all, the time decay. Second of all, imploding volatility today. That huge volatility that was built into the price of those options is going to implode today, right? And that's going to increase the value of that short call. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just a little lesson for you about options. And if you're in the chat room, you saw what was going on. If you're not in the chat room, you're on the outside looking in. So we do have this this promo going on. I talked about it on Monday. We only have another week left to go. It's this Deuces Wild, right? Deuces Wild. What is Deuces Wild? So if you go to the website, Explosive Options website, and I'm talking about this again just because it's a great deal for all of you to try it without any huge obligation here, right? This is the Deuces Wild. You get basically 2 weeks of total access, which is the chat room, which is where you would have found this trade. The EO service, which we put that trade on in the EO service yesterday. It's going to be phenomenal today. And the spread trader, which Sam also put an earnings trade on NVIDIA yesterday. That's going to do really well for $22, right? Now, if you let's break this down for a minute. If you'd have done one of those spread trades yesterday that I suggested, the 465, 480, the more conservative one contract is going to cost you about $630. If you can wait that out to next week, you probably can cash it in for about anywhere for $12 to $13, maybe $14 if you wait, and the stock is clearly well above the short strike. One contract from $600 to about $1,200 to $1,300. You more than doubled your money, and you paid for probably you would have paid for almost a whole year of the service, the chat room service, in just this one trade, and it only cost you $22 to get in. I'm telling you, we did this trade, this promo last year, and it was phenomenal. We came back with it again this year, and we're having some really great results on it too. But we only have another week or so to go before it's over. So that's my sales pitch of the day. I'm done with that. Let's talk a little bit about the markets. I just telling you about the Deuces Wild. I want you to think about it. Okay. Think about what you're missing. We have great opportunities to make some money. We have some great people in the chat room as well too. So let's talk about the markets over here. So strong day yesterday. It was the first today. Actually, if we close up today, which we're certainly starting strong today, up 21 handles. The Dow down a little bit because Boeing is off. The NASDAQ up more than 1% already this morning. If we close up today, it'll be the first time in August we've had consecutive up days. So far the score for August is in 17 trading days, 13 down, 4 up. That's not good. But and we know the markets are down for the month of August so far, and we have 4 days left in August next week, and we have today and tomorrow. So we have 6 trading days left before the month is over. And of course, September 1st is going to be Jobs Friday, right in front of the Labor Day holiday. So that'll be another interesting week and interesting report. So so far we've had some pretty decent earnings coming out. The market reaction hasn't been what everybody has been hoping for. We had some decent earnings from Apple. Apple dropped off about more than 10%. It's back up above 180 this morning, 180.95. Amazon also had a really good report. It fell back and nearly closed the gap from earnings, but it's back up a little bit this morning. Microsoft up strong today. Meta as well too, on the back of the strong AI and data center report from NVIDIA last night. Names that we put in the chat room yesterday. Again, this is if you missed this, was Splunk, and I'll show you that. I can show you that trade that we did yesterday on the Splunker right here. Check this out. We added right there. Yesterday at 1:49 p.m., added a few Splunk September 100 calls at 5.5. That's going to explode today at the open. It's up to 113. These will probably open up probably close to 14 bucks. So almost a 200% gainer. And again, you know, I'll go back to the Deuces Wild for 22 bucks. If you bought one contract for 550 bucks, that's going to cash in for 1,300. You more than made a score for the fee of coming in for 2 weeks, right? It really was a no-brainer. So we bought that. I'm also interested in a couple of other names, but first I want to show you this chart. This is something that we've been talking about more recently, is the new highs and lows from the NASDAQ, right? And we did notice that the whole month of August, all these negative readings were clustering below zero, right? And we said that was going to be bothersome here, but now we maybe have turned the tide a little bit. In the next 2, 3, 4 days, if we get readings above zero and possibly slightly positive, maybe even at zero, that could flip this indicator. We'd like to see prints above 100. It's going to take a while to get there because there's a lot of stocks that fell off of their new all-time highs back in early July, and you can see all those big prints up there, very, very healthy and bullish prints up there in July. They came back right back down here. It's going to take some time and a lot of good positive pricing action to get this indicator moved back into the positive. But it's still certainly encouraging, and something I noticed yesterday in a big way as well. Another thing I want to share with you is the indicators, the internals from yesterday, and you can see finally a strong day for the VOLD, the VOLD. You can see up moving from the bottom left to the upper right, closed right at the highs of the session over here. Volatility came down. Let's not forget about volatility. Elevated a little bit and coming into the NVIDIA earnings, and also we have a talk or a speech from Chair Powell tomorrow at the Jackson Hole Conference, which starts, the conference starts today. It runs all through the weekend. I'm not going to be out there doing any fly fishing with some of these economists, but you know, maybe somebody else will. But it's going to be an interesting talk tomorrow. We're also going to hear from I think Christine Lagarde from the Euro, and also the banker, the head banker from Japan. Is going to be there as well too. So a lot of good information, a lot of good stuff to pull from, but I think most people are going to be focused in on the words from Chair Jay Powell. Last thing I'm going to share with you here, a couple of charts of stocks that I'm looking at. I know they have some earnings coming out after the close today. A lot of stuff coming out. We have Nordstrom's after the close. Not really interested in that one. Marvell is the one that really has my eye here. I'm going to bring that up in just a moment. But Intuit, also as well too, had a strong day yesterday. I added some calls on Intuit yesterday. I also added some calls on Workday, WDAY. Nice little cup and handle pattern. You can see that formed over here. Let me shape that up here for you so you can see here. This nice cup and handle pattern over here, and the stock is poised to make some new highs after they report earnings today. So I'm in some 230 calls for September. Those did pretty well yesterday, and I'm looking to see a little bit more upside after tomorrow. But the one stock that I was going to show you here is this Marvell. Now, this is interesting because last time around when they reported earnings in May, end of May, shot right higher. We had some calls on the stock as well too. So, but take a look at the move that it made over here and what happened subsequently. Big, huge bar here, followed through and ran out of buyers up here around the $67, $68 area. Went sideways for about a good 3 months up until today, right? And it didn't ever break the midpoint of this large bar here. Now, I point that out because I often look at large candle bars like this on the upside or the downside, and I isolate the midpoint, and I say this is going to be an area where the buyers and the sellers are going to fight for control of the stock. And as long as the stock is above this line, that acts as support. So it never broke that support line down over here. Let's call it about 53 bucks or so. That's important. right? Because every time it tried to dip below there, we had some big institutions starting to come in and buy the stock. We see some, there's some, you can't see it over here. You'd have to squint, but there's some good volume here in when the stock dipped in August. Some people just let the stock go, and the big institutions came in and started scooping it up. So I think that this stock is poised for a good move after earnings come out tonight. In the Investors Business Daily, which I follow, they got an 82 rating as well too. The other two names that I and it's very bullish on Chicken Analytics. The other two names that I mentioned a few moments ago, Intuit and Workday, also have very high ratings. Intuit a 97, Workday a 99. They're also both bullish or very bullish on the Chicken Analytics. So that's going to be it, everyone. I wish everybody to have a great day, and please, please think about the Deuces Wild. And hopefully, you get a chance to join us here. You get a couple weeks into the chat room. We've a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of really good people in the room. We'll share some information with you about what we're doing, and hopefully not only help you make money, but help you learn about options trading and technical analysis and so forth. So very easy to get in here. Again, 7 days left to go. It's only on through August 31st. So you get a couple weeks to evaluate the service. So anyway, wish you guys all a great weekend. Pay attention tomorrow. Keep some puts on. It's always important to have some puts on. We're still in this bearish environment here. Maybe only for another couple more weeks. And after Thursday, if that MACD is still showing us on the monthly chart that the bulls have turned the page, well, we'll be dusting after Labor Day. We'll be dusting off the bullish playbook and using that into the end of the year and beyond. But for now, we got to stay tight and stick to our guns here in this bearish environment. So interest rates have been elevated here. We really have to note the fact that 4.3% is not friendly for equities, even though the stock market went up yesterday strongly and is up this morning. So keep an eye on that. All right, have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on Monday morning. Take care, everyone. Bye.